I'm Wiso Vazquez. I am the founder of Fut Mex Nation, and you're listening to the VS Podcast.
Represento mi bandera, lo grito por donde quiera. Mexicano 100%, no existe ni una barrera. Mucho menos nos separa una frontera. Con papel o sin papeles, yo vivo a mi manera. No me importa en cualquier país. Si el cielo se pone negro, gris. Escuchando a Gerardo Ortiz, celebrando fiestas patrias con dos Génesis. Cantamos mariachi y en acapela. Miramos a diario con los jefes la pinche novela.
Hola amigos de Pancho Villa's Army, aquí El Sargento with a special edition of Villa's Podcast, a Valentine's edition. And before we introduce our guests, let me introduce my co-host today because both of us have a man crush on this guy. Bromance. We just can't help. We were like, who are we going to invite for Valentine's Day, Rich? And Coronel's like, dude, Wiso, of course, man. That guy's in, soñamos cosas chingonas con ese way. And I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it. So, first of all, Coronel, welcome.
Hey guys, how you guys doing? Glad to be back. I took a little week off. Actually, I was 6 off, and now I'm back. But no, I do very excited again. Obviously, do have a man crush on our next guest, Wiso. I've known him for many years. I guess probably 2013. Yeah. I was going back to some old videos and old photos, and I'm just like, damn, man, we've come a long way. But without further ado, by popular demand, we introduce Wiso Vazquez, the Fut Mex Nation.
Guys, okay, first of all, that intro, man crush, all right, I'm blushing over here on, I haven't had that much love in a podcast. Usually when I'm hosting, it's like, all right, we don't really care, but no, it is a joy, and it is just awesome to get a chat with both of you. People that I've known for a while, and I share the same passion, and I can literally say you guys are friends, not only because you're in Phoenix and we're local, even though we don't ever hang out, which is kind of weird, but
it's making it hard for us though too right now.
It's funny. We've seen each other outside way more times ever. I don't think we've ever. Oh yeah, no, we have in some of the Phoenix games. But back to what I was saying, it's you guys. The respect to you guys and what you do, and I'm excited. I'm excited to talk.
It's
cool, on the other side.
Well, thanks for joining us, dude. Yeah, I know Coronel and myself have been wanting to get you on, but we're like, dude, it's got to be a special occasion. I mean,
it's the Valentine's occasion. I love it.
Valentine's Day special, man. I mean, what Coronel? Am I lying, Coronel?
No, absolutely not. And it's funny that you bring that up because obviously we follow Wiso on Instagram, and you posted Wiso, and I'm kind of curious. You posted a picture of CDs, right? Some burnt CDs, some MP3s that you did. And one of his questions that he had on his post is, what song is going to be on this Valentine's Heartbreak CD? And I voted for Careless Whisper, which is every time I hear that, I think of Wiso. And he's like, send me a message, which I'm not going to share. But anyways, I'm just kind of curious, Wiso, what songs do you have on there?
Dude, Careless Whisper was on there. I literally, of course it is. I'm never going to dance again. Like, you have to, I had some, I think I put some on there. I had some, Radiohead, and I think the other one was I'm Going Down. It literally was the most dramatic mix that I wanted to get over you, Christina. I'll say her name. She I don't think she follows me or she even cares about me anymore. But dude, that was a heartbreak summer. And I remember I was just going through all my CD. I can't throw stuff away like that. Right. I don't even know where to put a CD anymore. But you have those songs, and I put it in my lap to see what it was. Some of them has some dumb I think it was some either Backstreet Boys or NSYNC, I Want You Back or something like that. But it's just funny to go down that road. But you right away said, hey, Careless Whisper, and I had to tell you, dude, that's it. It's such a good, the melody with the saxophone or the trumpet, whatever that is, it's just amazing.
It takes you back to those at the 80s, right? It just
because even if you didn't have heartbreaks in the 80s, you still listen to that song, it still comes down to it.
What's funny is significant others, every time it's always been like this. You hear a song, a ballad, una canción, whatever, you hear it and you start, you kind of get emotional about it, even though you've never actually had that experience. You just somehow the song just kind of get to you. And you always have significant others, and are like, well, who are you thinking about? Well, no one really, just the song gets you, right? But the funny thing about the CDs is you guys, obviously you had CDs, you were able to burn them. in my era, it was the cassette, but not even record on the, not even like a dub cassette. It was like I have to play the radio.
Yeah, no.
Cassette radio, super close, and then hit record.
Rich acts like he's like 80. Like we did that too, bro. Like
now you talk about 8-track or something.
Okay, if you said 8-track, okay, I'll be a little different. Like if you're like in the vinyl or whatever. No, yeah, those cassettes, dude. I feel like since I was born in Mexico and I was there for like first 10 years of my life, I feel like that was the 70s of what the US is the 80s, because I was doing stuff. I remember betas, right? When we would either go to the video centro, either beta or VHS sections, right? That was like in the 70s in the US, you know? So I come on, I'm like, sorry, yeah, dude, of course, cassettes. I still have some of those cool cassettes.
Oh shit! Yeah, the ones to hold on to are the Disney ones. Those are the ones to. As a matter of fact, you know.
Yeah,
I do have a Disney. I have the Aladdin Disney cassette that I used to play at like just in the night, dude. I know that's all that whole soundtrack because of that.
That's like duets like Coronel and myself do when we do karaoke.
Let's go.
Yeah, we do. New world.
You said karaoke.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, karaoke.
Oh, wait, hold on. Leave that to later, dude. I knew you bring that up, Rich.
I have to. Well, let's talk. Let's talk a little bit more about you. Obviously, you said you lived in Mexico. For how long? When did you come over? How did you go from there to what you're doing now?
Born in León, Guanajuato, right? That's the few very León fans that are on Twitter that could say, I was born there, ahí en el Seguro Social, in Colonia Panorama, if anybody's from León. And was there, went to the, Colegio Guanajuato, like the biggest León. My family's like huge Leóns, like proud of it, it's so we are. And then, like in the immigrant story, my dad decided to go to the US for an opportunity. He went first. And, back then, this is early 90s, it wasn't hard to come to the US, with not to get into an immigration but it's important to note that back then you can just go in and out. And he did many times. He would go in there, work for a summer and come back, or work for a few months and come back. And it's not that we weren't, we needed the money. I think I was a pretty good education in school, but my dad was just a very adventurous person. He would go and try to go anywhere, just like my grandpa was, who would travel all over the world. So he saw an opportunity to go work and came to Phoenix in the middle of June, then came back, said, hey, maybe you can go to school for a year and learn English. So we went over there and left what we had. And then all of a sudden a year in, we decide, hey, let's just stay here and continue this opportunity. And all of a sudden my life changed completely. And then, as a kid, realizing that you have no papers until you realize that you don't have papers, it's a completely different story that we could talk about. But somehow I made it to the U.S. And I didn't know we were going to stay here, like other kids that come to the U.S. And then you just kind of, go through that avenue of what you're going to do. Right. So that's, I guess, my story of how I came in. And now I've been here ever since in Phoenix, and I don't know why my dad chose the hottest city in the world.
Well, I was going to
stay at.
Yeah, dude, my parents brought me around June, July as well, dude. It's like, what is it about our parents thinking like this would be a great place to raise kids?
Yeah, exactly. And now we have to defend it. No, it's not that hot. It is. It's pretty hot.
Yeah, people try to defend it. Yeah, but it's like you can't play outside. It's not a place for kids to go out there. Like in California or Mexico, I imagine you just go out there, play for the whole day, right? Until the lights out. And you come back. You can't do that here.
Somehow we did, though. Somehow we did go out. Like I grew up in if you know Phoenix, it's Van Buren and 15th Avenue. It was rough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was rough back then.
I mean, activities.
And I'm not saying for anybody's was Phoenix not rough. I get it, but I'm just saying I was in a house. We lived. Our house was divided into two. We had another complete separate family next to us with cardboard that we could never see because the landlords divided into two, and there was 6 to 8 of us with 3 kids, and then another family we never saw that they left over the back into the alley. Mm-hmm. That was where we came through for about a year. They're at Capital School on Van Buren, and it's just kind of and just kind of took its course there, go to school and everything.
Why did they choose Phoenix? I mean, maybe because it's not as saturated. There was nobody here. You know what I mean?
There was nobody here.
I mean, we look at how long we've been here, and we've seen it explode, especially in South Phoenix, Levine, out on the west side. I mean, it's super, super growing. So you know, they probably just saw the opportunity. Hey, this is going to grow, and sure as hell it did.
So
I don't know.
Really quick time out. So this is an episode of This Is Your Life. So we have another guest who just couldn't help. He also has a man crush on you, and I told him, hey,
my buddy.
I was like, Wiso's coming out. He's like, dude, I have to join, dude. I have to, like, you know, any moment you're gonna get flowers at the door and courtesy of his and a guy doing a little song and dance.
You guys are too much.
No, man. Like, hey, sorry for being a little bit late, dude. But the Mountain Time thing messes me up. Like, I got the invite, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, cool. That's like 11 o'clock my time. And I guess you guys are only an hour behind, not 2. And I don't know, it just messes me all up.
We don't change, man. Like everyone keeps saying, you know, Arizona and their weird time changes. We don't change. For the very first time in a podcast, we all got here on time, and we didn't have to worry about it because I'm dealing with like 6 different time zones when I work every day, from Spain, Mexico, then 3 in the U.S., and then somebody goes, hey, I can't do it, but can I do it 4:30 Pacific? And okay, I have to tell that to the others. I think that's 5:30 Mexico, and that's 3 hours in Argentina to post for. It is crazy. I hate it. I hope it's like one of the things that I know. I think I'm dumb, but at the same time, I feel like I have to do these weird equations in my head to figure out to tell Sergio to be on here at 9:30 Pacific. Okay, what's his? I think he's in Mexico City.
You need a PhD for this, man.
And then all of a sudden we're Pacific in April. So then people go, wait, I thought you were only an hour behind. We don't change.
Everybody else.
We got time for that.
What's that meme from Sunny in Philadelphia where the guy's like pointing to a chalkboard? He's got like this whole like thing going.
Yeah.
You know what I think? I think your next perfect job, Wiso, would be a referee in the barring, reviewing the you know, did the hand touch it? Did it not touch? Was he in? Was he out?
True.
I mean, you've already got the
VAR.
Yeah, the VAR.
I was funny because I was coming back from the World Cup, and I went to a baseball game. It was so boring, and there was like a review call, and I got up and I'm like, I don't think anybody got it. They're like, oh, okay, never mind.
Well, we're gonna let Wiso do the VAR stuff if he puts a meme after it, like the one from yesterday from the Tigres game, where the guy with who was a Bayern Munich player that's like falling over, and you're like,
oh. Well, he's like enemy number 2 now. Did you see that?
Dude, what was it? I didn't even pay attention, but it's like he barely touched them, and he was like perfectly still, like just like that, and we're like, yep, just it happens. It happens, but hey, diving happens everywhere, man.
Part of the game.
Speaking about that game, let's jump right into that, man. Who were you guys pulling for? I know I was definitely.
Of course, come on. What kind of question is that? What are we?
But you're not Americanista fan, dude. Americanista.
It's true. That's true. We have a Chivas fan. We have an America fan. Sarge, what fan? Who do you go for?
Odiame más, dude. You know who it is. Soy guapo, soy inteligente. I mean, come on, all the way.
There it is.
Yeah. Arrogant.
No, but look. I said it yesterday to Wiso.
You did. You said it.
I replied to Wiso yesterday, and when Chivas was playing in the Champions League against Toronto, I believe, right? I was rooting for Chivas. Like, I was a hardcore Chivas fan. I was like, come on, let's go, and I rooted for them. And I say that as an America fan. I say that with all the hate in the world towards Chivas fans. I was rooting for Chivas that night.
I have a theory about this, that people in the U.S., and maybe I'm wrong, but whatever, I think there's something in it that we cling to being Mexican into everything. Like, it's just, since we are so far away from it, we get, not saying persecuted, but saying, especially in Phoenix, you guys, right? When you're growing up, it's like, oh, I'm Mexican. Oh, you're Mexican. Like this almost shame at times, right? That I feel like everything that's Mexican in the U.S., we're gonna cling on to it, regardless if it's, even if it's not positive. Like the news that come out, yeah, that's me, and if it's Chapo, right? Chapo, you're like, yeah, that guy escaped out of jail. Like, even though it's bad and it's negative, you kind of just go, I'm kind of proud of it a little bit that we or if he escapes out of the prison, he did horrible stuff. That guy should be in jail for the rest of his life. But if he escapes out of that prison, you'd be like, well, that's kind of cool. Like that, like a guy did that. Like, I know, I totally get it. It's this weird thing that you kind of go, a Mexican did that. I'm proud of that. Yeah. Maybe more in the U.S.
So, right. So to add to that, then we make a novella out of it and glorify even more.
Glorify even more.
All right, we're like, hell yeah, narco, chapo.
It's horrible. I hate it. I've never been part of the narco culture. It's really dumb. But there's just a little bit part of me that goes, wait, the number one, drug dealer or the number one, we beat. You become he's Mexican. You go, dude, that's really bad.
Dude, I have to. You're absolutely. You know what? I never thought about it, Wiso, until you just said that. Because I mean, he's avoided the authorities for so long, and we're like, así es el mexicano chingón and all this stuff.
It's so dumb.
I'm not a big, obviously I don't support that, obviously, but I did have to. I gotta admit, I did buy a Caro Quintero T-shirt.
Jesus, it's like.
I gotta support.
Look,
I gotta support.
I gotta support.
But even it goes across everywhere, man. Remember when Gael Garcia Bernal was, I think, dating Natalie Portman, right? I think Natalie Portman to me was like, growing up, Star Wars, everything, and at that point I was like, it's the Mexican, like it's dating Natalie, like yay, like that's kind of cool. Like I could be a part of that somehow, just a little bit, or the Mexican in the Winter Olympics who had no reason to be Mexican except for like a cousin of a cousin, certain, whatever Von something, and we're like, let's go. Just we cling to it no matter what, and I think that's what people in Mexico don't understand. And you go to all these games that are moleros and they're about, dude, like that's. The minute we want to be Mexican, we can try to be there because sometimes we can't. Or again, we have to be more Mexican than the Mexicans and more American than the Americans. So yeah, man, like back to the conversation with Tigres, right? Yep. To me, to maybe us in the US, to Sergio, right? Who started a movement to Mexico, why wouldn't you want to celebrate? But then again, rivalries come in. So I get rivalries. I get why maybe Huelito, if America's about to shoot a penalty kick in the 90s to beat Bayern Munich, you'd probably be like, is Sergio would not shut up for the rest of his life.
Exactly.
And I don't know if I want that. It's kind of cool that Mexican teams made it, but then I don't necessarily want all the America. And true, bro, Americanistas will ride forever. And it's so annoying. But you know what?
Gignac said it, bro. Gignac said it. El peor enemigo del mexicano es otro mexicano. I know how you guys are.
All right, dude. So that's exactly what I was going to go into, right? This is the Twitter, right? What are you talking about?
Yeah, el peor enemigo del mexicano es el mismo mexicano. I hate that saying, man.
Well, it's true, bro. I think it's true.
So for the folks that are listening, right? If you guys went to the Twitter page, I mean, it basically says, yeah, el peor enemigo del mexicano es el mismo mexicano. So what are your thoughts about that? Like, do you agree with that saying?
I don't like that saying because isn't that like that everywhere? Okay, let's think. I don't know. I hate it because it's like, dude, I feel people hate on people that all the time, right? You're in your family, like if you do something, like maybe there's a cousin, it's because he got lucky, or like, and it could be a Mexican thing. I'm just saying, like, I don't like it because it says that we are that bad. It's true, we're bringing people down or we get envious, but I feel like in other cultures, I don't know, maybe it's the same thing. No, you guys really think? And especially Mexicans, it's not like Latin Americans.
That's more in our culture, dude. Like my wife, she's from Georgia. She's from the South, so they're constantly like, "Oh my gosh, I'm super proud of you. I can't wait. Let's celebrate everything. Your first walk, your first tooth." Everything. And for us, it's like, like he's walking, like everybody walks, right? Like we just
that's true.
You know what I mean? Like I've seen other coaches not get like we get down and dirty, man.
Dude, I agree with you, Z, too, because take a culture like I don't know, like the Jewish community, right? Like they not only support each other so much, like they do business with each other. Yeah. And I get this feeling that when like a Mexican guy sees like a Mexican lawyer or a Mexican doctor, they're like, oh, he must not be as good. Let me go get the gringuito, right? Like, I feel like it happens in our culture, right?
Or hace tranza.
Then I take the other part of it of like, maybe we're just both on the spectrum, because the minute you meet someone that's Mexican outside of what you didn't meet a Mexican, you're just like, oh my gosh, like, yeah. So we just talked about how awesome it is to like have 1 ounce of Mexican, and we're going to be like, that's awesome that you did that. But then we're also talking about we're the biggest enemies. So that's kind of crazy on both spectrum, right? We are the biggest hype people when it comes to Mexico. I'm sorry, it's like you mention anything Mexico and we're like, we won already 4 Oscars. It's like, we just like, that's, but then we could be the worst. We're just everywhere, dude. Like from both sides.
You're absolutely right. We're everywhere, man. I mean, even like, for example, like when we need something worked on our car, we go to El Mexicano. He's going to be the cheapest. Es un compa. He might be successful with his tire shop or his auto body shop, but you're like, hey, I'm going to try to get in and try to get a lower price to get my shit fixed.
But then it doesn't work, Coronel, and then you go, what do you expect, dude? It's from bro. Like, it's a patch job, you know? It's like the opposite.
He must be
when you need someone to pass emissions, and you know that they'll just somehow pass the emissions. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but all of a sudden you get the little certificate. Hey, you passed on my '98 Civic. I go, cool. I don't know how you do it.
I hate Serge. We were talking earlier, right before you got on, how long we've known Wiso. I think you and I might have known Wiso just a little bit longer.
We met each other at the same time.
We met each other. We all met at the Phoenix game, bro. That Phoenix USA game was like the first time we all met. I think we all kind of like interacted a little bit, you know, online. But man, I think the first time we all kind of hung out was at that Phoenix game. That was also like the first time we ever saw Claudia. And they shut up again for like 10 years.
Who?
Exactly. Who?
Hey, you're gonna have to insert a little, bring her in on the
just put her on the
podcast. Do like a plank.
You're so mean to her. She's hilarious.
So a little backstory.
She finally went to a game in 2019, dude. So it took her 7 years almost to go back.
She went to another game, I thought.
Which one?
Yeah. She went to She went to San Antonio game.
Oh, that's right. She did
go to the game. Yeah, she went. So there, Claudia.
She went to San Antonio game. You're right.
For those of us, Serge, do you want to talk a little bit about that background? A lot of people don't know. Inside joke is with.
So Claudia is my sister. She's an accomplished journalist, and she
very accomplished.
A lot of work on the border. I don't know, like dangerous work on the border for a while. But now she works for like a nonprofit, doing communications and stuff. You know, she worked for Beto for a while as well during his campaign. Yep. But the way I know her is I grew up with her, and I tease her relentlessly, as every older Mexican does.
Enemigo de una Mexicana is her brother.
Exactly, right? And well, yeah, she's a big hardcore Mexico fan, like all of us. And she tells us she's gonna go to all the games, and she just never shows up. Never shows up. And so to incorporate her, because we love her so much, Wiso and I started taking pictures with space in the middle, so we can like Photoshop her in at every game. So while she hasn't been to every game, and I think she's been to 2 games in 10 years or something like that, she's at least been there in spirit. And there's photos where we've inserted her, and she's there. It's like we have a little cutout that we just take to every game. Where she
we should make a cutout of Claudia and just start taking her to the games. That'd be funny. I'm gonna get a mean message on Instagram for this conversation.
A fat head.
A fat head.
That would be.
Shout out to Claudia. Definitely, it would be. She'll be joining us in the pod. We'll put an image of her during the whole time.
Man. Yeah, so what do you? So what's going on? What's new with you? I mean, obviously, we've seen you progress from when you started Fut Mex Nation, and how everyone has progressed. Everyone on the show, and shout out to everybody on the show. Just to see you guys go from. I'm not sure if it was in your basement or your garage, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 boom. I mean, you're in Mexico hanging out with Janelli and Norma, and I'm like, what did I miss the boat? Like, what the hell? Like, what the hell happened?
No, not it. You know, it's I always kind of go back to what Sergio's done, and we all kind of we were in the same game, Sergio, and you didn't notice this when I had the idea for Fut Mex Nation and you had the idea for PVA. Right, like where that 2011, you tell that story so well, and then you know Fut Mex Nation started. I say even before that, I did like a little Twitter account called Mexico Soccer Team. It's still on Twitter on there, and then I just let it go. I had like 2,000 fans, and I'm like, no one cares, and then I let it go, and then I came back to it, and I'm like, dang, that's 2,000 people following in 2010. That's pretty big. It's still there. Horrible tweets. Horrendous tweets, by the way. It's like Mexico went to score in Honduras 2-0, you know, and then like, yeah. I'm like, people want to know about Mexican soccer in English. Cool. And then I'm like, oh, this is dumb. I'm just going to focus on something else. So then 2011 came, and I'm like, oh my gosh, no, like there's people. So started writing, and then, you know, just either the blog started, which is usually called Fut Mex Source a while back. Yeah. Which was like the source of Mexican soccer, and then There was nobody writing about that in English. Got some cool writers that used to write for Go a long time ago. It's a Cantina MX kind of guys, which I know those guys from a long time in the forums. They're good guys, and it just kind of started from there, right? Fut Mex Nation started getting into games and getting to know the people, to let them know that we're legit, that we're covering them in English, and just on the media side started doing that. Finally found people that were way better than me at writing, that were way better at me at telling the stories, that were way better than me at content creation, and giving them a chance to showcase what they want to do. Some have stayed, some have gotten offers at clubs, and it's just it became a community. And now on Twitter, and joining up with Tom Marshall with the Mexican Soccer Show in the early stages to say, hey, let's come together, and doing the Mexican Soccer Show podcast will be a part of Fut Mex Nation. And then, doing my own thing on the side, trying to figure out how, if this is going to be a job or a career, or working for other, on doing whatever I can to hustle. And then, last year got together with the marketing Jersey, who said, hey, I know we love what you're doing. We see what you're doing. We've worked together in a few past projects. Come work for us, and then it's what I'm doing now in what what marketing Jersey's doing, and it's I didn't have to stop what I was doing, and I can do it full time. Nice. And I can do what I want, which is content creation, which is bringing content to the Mexican audience, because I feel like I've grown up to it and I know what people want. Here you go, continuing to do that. And then now the opportunity to work with amazing athletes, work with content for amazing athletes, work with a company that is growing immensely, and it's got a bright future in women's soccer, and also in the multicultural space here in the United States, and everything I said with Mexican soccer. So to me, it's been a dream, and I'm just gonna keep going. I'll see where it goes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you know what's cool? Like, let me interject real quick, Z. Like, when I met Wiso, there's tons of guys with passion, right? Like, that passion is, people have passion, but Wiso was different because, I don't know if you guys remember Big Soccer. It's still around, but Big Soccer was just like a hater, Reddit type of blog. And there's tons of guys like that, right? But Wiso approached it as a professional. I think that was the difference when I met Wiso. He looked at it as someone who not only loved the sport and was passionate, but he approached it in a professional manner. And I think that's why not only audiences reacted well to what he was doing, but also the Mexican soccer team and people around the whole Mexico Zoom environment, they all reacted very well to what Fut Mex Nation was, or Fut Mex Source at the time, because he wasn't like some angry blogger, right, in the basement. He was a guy who treated this professionally, and he acted in that way, right? So I think that was the difference. I think that's really what helped at least me notice, man, we still got something really cool going. He's not just a little troll hater like some of these big soccer guys or Reddit guys are. He really did know about it.
It's I think I've said that we've gotten to where we're at because we try to do things right, and not. I mean, going back over there, guys, what sells, right? Women in bikinis, and you put it out there, or I just saw, I'm like, we can go that route and get really big and put out there, or whatever, or we can actually give content. Like, I really think people want to know what Salcido's doing, as Mexicans abroad, because there's nobody talking about that, right? I'm like, that's the content that's going to continue giving it to us. And then getting people on my team that, don't look like me, right? Or that have a different experience of the Mexican soccer, and continuing to evolve in that way. And getting with the Mexican Soccer Show guys, where, those guys, Tom Marshall is at ESPN. So, right, making sure that the guys that are doing, they know what they're doing. It's not just, and credit to other podcasts, credit to other, people that have tried to do this. I'm always supportive. The more that we're together, the better we're all going to grow. And that's always been our case. I've never seen anybody that they're my enemy and they're growing a little bit more, from FMF State of Mind to the three pod guys. Like, we just kind of keep growing, and we're all going to be well. Yeah. And don't burn any bridges, because, I think as a community, we're all cool. And I feel like I don't necessarily have any problems with anyone, because it could get dramatic out there. Yeah. Sure. But yeah, just continue to do it. And, maybe we could have gotten bigger if I went another route or not, but we'll see.
So I like what you're doing, man. You're not following what Gignac just said, man. You're definitely changing the script, and I feel like that it takes people like these kind of conversations and this type of saying, hey, that's the past, man. We're better than that, Not our enemies.
Yeah.
We're gonna collaborate. We're gonna come because I feel if we collaborate, we come up with better content, better, just everything in general, dude. We're gonna come up with better connections and we're gonna grow as a community.
Yeah.
So I love what you're doing, man. So I'm glad you mentioned that because I want to give you kudos for that. Dude, you are definitely one that is willing to help out a fellow, up and comer. Hey, what's going on?
It's true. Now people have the podcast about their own teams, and it's the Eagle Eye podcast, and who would have thought that there's so much, right? Yeah. So if you're out there, you're listening to that, and it's do something that people aren't doing, just keep at it. That's another thing I remember looking back at the people that were looking at Fut Mex Source and how many people were reading. It's like 11 people, and I was like, dude, I'm excited. 11 people are reading this article. And then, one tweet, and I don't have a huge following like a lot of people do on Twitter, in the last 10 years. But, people respond to what you're saying. And it's good to see that growth, but you have to keep going. If we started this in 2013, it's 8 years ago, so if you're thinking of starting something, keep doing it. And that's what I see stop. People just kind of go, I did it for a year. I'm not getting anything. You just keep going. If you believe in it, it's going to happen. If there really is a niche, and we're very small compared to the world out there, but people notice.
Yeah, I like that little motivation speech to keep going and keep doing it, because I think nowadays the younger people, right, our kids are like, they want results like quick. They're so used to like downloading the app, downloading the song, everything's super quick. And if there's a lag in text or whatever, everyone gets so upset, like, oh my God, this text takes forever. And it's still fast, right? And one of the last shows that you had last year was the awards, the podcast award that you guys did. And it's cool that you guys recognized, like Eagle Eye Podcast and Chivas del Norte, because then it gives them motivation, and especially because it gave Chivas del Norte a shout out on TV. It kind of gives them motivation. Hey, we're on the right path. Yeah. We might not get there in 3 months, but look at Wiso, you're a perfect example. Look at where you're at now. You know what I mean? If that's what you really want to do and you're passionate about it, keep it, and you're gonna get there. And I thought that was a really cool show.
And I look at you guys. You look at PVA. I mean, the world knows who PVA is. They're and the Mexican Federation noticed. Everyone in the U.S. like the flags that are out there with PVA on it. This was your dream, Sergio, right? And then it's happening. How many chapters do you guys have? All the fans, what you guys are doing at games, and it just starts by, I think this is cool. I'm gonna keep doing it, and you kept going because you knew. I'm like, it's all logical. It makes sense for all of us to come together at games. Why not do it? So it's continuing to build everybody up. It's continuing to help each other in any way that we can, be respectful, and 2026 is around the corner. So
and one thing you said that really caught my attention was, you could have gone with girls in bikinis. You could have gone that whole route, and PVA the same. We could have done the same thing, right? Hire models, do that stuff. But I think one thing that I think you and I both agree upon is it's not about how many followers or likes or whatever you get. It's about the quality of those people.
True.
And I'd rather have 100 quality people that I want to hang out with than 1,000. And 900 of those people are just people that aren't there for the right reasons, don't have the right intentions, or whatever, right? Or 900 followers that don't engage. I'd rather have, and I say this because those of you with like a smaller podcast or just starting out or a smaller blog, you might only have 10 fans today, but those 10 fans engage.
Yeah. It's true.
That's better than 100 fans that don't engage with you. Just keep plugging at it, man. Like we said, keep plugging at it, keep going. Those 10 will become 15 eventually, but that's 15 hardcore fans. Those 15 will become 50 eventually, but that's 50 hardcore fans, and so on. And that's how you grow with quality audiences, with a quality blog. That's how you do it. Don't go the cheap route, because those fans will leave you quickly.
And I could say that for you guys, right? I mean, the P chant, right? Mm-hmm. It's like how going into 2014, I was saying it because it was funny, because that's and I go back to it until you realize and sit down, why are we saying it? And what, going to Mexico fans, that was the thing to do. That was the Mexico. That was a funny thing. Así somos de whatever and whatever. And then, you know, you guys are very smart in saying, look, I'm gonna lose tickets prices. And I remember those that month, Sergio, you know, when you were going and said, we're not saying it anymore. You got to put a statement, and here's our game. And people said, I don't want to be a part of this, you know, fake Mexican kind of whatever. And I'm sure you lost, you know, people going into those games. But guess what? You're on the right track. And you can go look back and say, hey, I did the right thing, because as many people, you know, and I'm there with you at the games, when even there you're like, hey, yo, stop. We don't want to do that, you know. And you brought leaders, because all your leaders feel the same way. And sure, you're never going to control everybody, right? There's people out there that buy tickets that are ready to do it, and you're like, hey, we don't do it. But as a section and as a people, you did it. That may have caused you, but you did the right thing, and we all applaud you for it, right? And that's going to be continuing. Right.
Yeah.
So what's the next thing?
We're gonna continue that. But I'll tell you this too. We lost people initially, but the people that we've gained in support, as they've been amazing, right?
Yeah.
And not only are we gaining more people who support that, but we're gaining families. So, you know, we're gaining kids going into the section, which we love. We love seeing, you know, moms and wives go into the section and feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. You know, you can have a good atmosphere but with also an inclusive family atmosphere as well. Yeah. It doesn't be this like South American barra thing. It can be something festive, you know. And I think we meshed that well.
Let me give you some more shout outs here, because what I think about right away, and you know, I do a lot of leadership training and things that come to mind, but what you just did reminds me of a section of the cadet prayer, you know, as part of the Army. Make us choose the harder right instead of the easier wrong, right? And never to be content with the half truth when the whole truth can be won. So as soon as you did that, that stood out to me, man. Thinking like, I'm gonna lose fans, I'm gonna get haters, whatever. But you know what? This is the right thing to do. And you did it, dude. And you know, we're better for it as a group, and we're actually growing stronger. So sorry to get sentimental on you, man, but it's Valentine's Day. I had to like. I
was gonna get into you're teaching us stuff.
Got to get deep, bro, because I want to transition into this, just because you know this can go on, but I want to give you know, it's Valentine's Day. The Coronel sent me some Valentine's Day cards, and I reached out to Serge también and said, hey, dude, do you have any Valentine's Day cards from you know, people that you know? And they sent me them. They all came in the mail, so it's like going back to grade school, dude. It's time for us to give you your Valentine's Day cards.
Let's go.
Let's go ahead and go through them really quick, and then you know, let me know your reactions about them, dude. Let me know what you think. You know,
let's see.
Be honest. All right, here we go. So Valentine's Day cards, here we go. First Valentine's Day card that came was from, you know, Chicharito, Sueño, Cosas Chingadas, and there he is right there.
Oh my God.
He looks,
look at that guy.
Dude, those dreamy eyes, man. Like, that is my reaction if I see him staring at me like that, like what you have up there.
Dude, at first I thought it was Coronel when he got his hair that color. Then I was like, oh shit, it's Chicharito, because I remember Coronel had that color. You know, dude, that's a great picture there, dude. I mean, who took that picture there, Wiso? I mean, that's like a model picture.
Wait, right? My picture? You're talking about my picture?
Yeah, dude, I don't even think that's you, dude. Look at that hair, the lady.
So my hair's like really long. Like, I have a ponytail and it comes out, and it gets curly, gets wavy, and then I put my phone down because there's like just perfect lighting from my room. It was like sunset, and I seriously went like that, and and I just took it, and I was like, that's a pretty cool picture. So
I'm telling you that I fell in love with Wiso with that picture, and I even, as soon as he posted it, I sent him a right. I go, do not cut your hair, bro. Do not.
Dude, it is long.
All right, let's keep going, man. So I want Wiso to read these. These are the cards for him.
All right, got it.
This is from Pancho. What did it say?
No puedo esperar para tensar tu cabello. Happy Valentine's Day. Atentamente, HH. Dude, HH looks good. Oh my gosh.
What are they saying? Notice feo eres pobre. He looks good, man.
Dude, you're not ugly. You're just pobre. That's hilarious. You know, it takes to do that. You know, he was gonna get so much hate. So much hate, and he did it, and you know what? It's over, and
it's over. It's done. Yep.
It's
again,
over.
going back to the polar opposite, Wiso, dude. As soon as Pulisic did it, all the Mexicans like, oh, that's nothing. Our HH is way more handsome than freaking Pulisic.
No. Pulisic got. In fact, I was in a meeting with GQ that day when they came out. I asked them, "Yo, who shot those pictures of Pulisic?" And they're like, "Oh, the U.S. team. That was not us. It was Mexico GQ." Because Velas looks pretty good. Hector Herrera looks really good. But Pulisic, it's like he's having a horrible year, and then he posts those pictures. Something about U.S. men's national. You remember those pictures from like Donovan and McBride back in like early 2000s in the water fountain, and just bad pictures in a time where, you know, it was just a different time, right? And it's I just feel like, hey, at least RGQ is better. Yeah, you might have beat us in 2020, in 2001 in the World Cup in the worst game that we ever played. But our GQ pictures are better.
All right, next one. There you go. What is it?
Happy Valentine's Day. I'm a doppelganger. No way. Dude, Maluma, long hair Maluma, bro. That's
Who is that guy?
It's Maluma, right?
Yeah. No, I thought it was. No, that's not.
It is.
How many Maluma concerts you been to? Wiso? At least two,
I've
right?
seen Maluma two times.
Two times.
See,
I'm Wiso fanboy. I know exactly how many concerts.
No, I love music, man. Like they put on so I think it was 2 years ago. Yeah. Maluma, he's a good looking guy, man. I mean,
well, right? Like you've been to a lot of big events.
I love music. If there's another passion of mine, if it wasn't Fut Mex Nation, it would have been like, you know, some kind of blog about music and festivals, because ever since like the late 90s here in Phoenix, when like, you know, Warped Tours and Lilith's Fair, those are really long. I love music festivals, so I've been through that. So anytime I think if you put an artist, I think, and they're pretty popular, and they came to Phoenix or I went to, I pretty much seen them.
So here's the next one real quick. This one.
Wait, hold on. So my cousin is the lawyer for Ruido Fest in Chicago and Lollapalooza. So one things get back to normal, man, we'll head out there. And
Lollapalooza is awesome.
Hey, Coronel, we got left out, dude. It's like they just decided to do a date together, and we just like over here at the sideline, like a prom date.
No, man, all of us. I'm saying,
go. Let's do it.
The Ruido Fest, dude, they had who did they have? Had
Maná,
Cuba,
Los Tigres Norte one time as well.
Dude, it was the lineup was super dope,
and they always repeat. They repeat like.
The funny thing about it, Serge goes, "Hey, dude, let's go, my cousin, this and that, let's go." And I'm like, "Okay, sounds good." I'm like, "When is it?" He's like, "Next week." I'm like, "Dude, what?"
Dude, we don't have private jets, dude. Like,
I don't keep up with that. I forget, dude. And the next thing I know, I see my cousin text me, and I'm like, "Yeah, when is it?" He's like, "Next week." I'm like, "Fuck, all right, well, let's see if we can go."
All right. Well, speaking of concerts, we had the Super Bowl, so that's the next one. All right, there you go, bro.
Oh, I can't feel my face when I'm with you. Happy Valentine's Day, but I love it, dude. Good, man. It's good. Little weekend.
He's coming to Phoenix.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Weekend's got. I've seen him a couple times. Weekend is the production value is really good. So.
What'd you think of the halftime show, though?
I think it was good. People make so much like, oh, it wasn't good. Well, I don't know. Like the music is good. You were every song I knew, and then what can he do, right? During COVID, I thought it was funny.
Exactly.
I thought it was great. I thought
yeah.
It wasn't. You're not gonna be like the best, show ever. It wasn't what it was last year, right? I mean, Shakira and J-Lo just went crazy with it. But at the same time, it wasn't bad. It wasn't like The Who.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or it wasn't like some, and I'm not saying rock, cool, like, but at the same time, I thought it was adequate. I thought it was good. I liked it.
Yeah. In the age of COVID, what can you do, right? I mean, it's like, we're lucky we're playing.
He got dealt a bad hand because wasn't he already booked before COVID happened? So he had to adjust. I mean, dude, I got to give him props. All right, got a few more, man.
Let's go. Let's see it.
Oh.
Happy Valentine's Day, but I can't read it because of the
spooky. But then he crossed it off and it said Buki Mayor.
Is that what it is?
Para el Buki Mayor.
It's because of the record and all the little things on there. All right, who's this?
So you have to see the new Selena show.
No, I have not. Is this the rocker?
It's one of the characters. He's one of the original Dino's guy. But he was in a show called, On My Block, and he was like this cholo gangster guy, pelon. But then he comes out looking like this, so people kept calling him El Buki, right?
Dude,
So
is that a wig? That's pretty high up there.
that's pretty bad.
That's pretty high up there. Wait, so he wasn't the guy that Selena marries, like, right?
No. Yeah, he was one of the other ones. Yeah, all right, last one.
But he was not a brother. He's not a family member.
Not a family member. Some guy that just contract. Yep. All right, here we go. Last one.
All right, last one. Let's go. Feliz Día de San Valentín, mi tocayo.
That's a good one.
That's awesome. Leo Cuellar, right?
Yeah.
So, interesting about this is that my uncle, right? Everybody has somebody that like supposedly played soccer, but like mine is legit. My uncle was the physical therapist for the 1978 World Cup, and I think this is from that era with Leo Cuellar with his hair. Mexico went 3 and out, had a horrible three games in 1978. But every time I'm reminded, he has pictures of Leo Cuellar and Hugo Sanchez all over his office. If you're in Guadalajara, if we ever have a game in Guadalajara and you guys are in, every time I'm there, I do a dinner with them, and he always, no matter what, he's shown me millions of times, he tells me about everything he did in like 1978 and the stories.
I want that jersey, dude. Like, where can we get that jersey with the Levi? I mean, that, dude, that's like one of the jerseys like I have to have one day, dude. I don't know. Do you have this? Anybody have this jersey?
I do not have that jersey.
What do you think of it?
That's weird. That's not from the World Cup, though. That's interesting, because now I'm looking at it. That's not the World Cup jersey.
They didn't. Let me see here. I was just looking at it too.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
But I mean, just the fact that
they have a World Cup one that's similar to that, but that's not the World Cup picture.
Just took a picture of it. No, I gotta look at it because those stripes there, then it's a Levi's one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's either a year before or a year after. So there you go, Visos Army. Let's find out.
Looking on eBay right now, and apparently it is a 1978 World Cup jersey.
It was?
It's got on it, and there's this one online for $390, and it's signed by Hugo Sanchez, apparently.
Because there's two. They have two of them very, very similar. One has got I think on the collar, it's also got the red, white, and green on the collar. Two of them look very, very similar.
Yeah. Just the fact that, dude, Levi, like, when Levi doing jerseys, like that's just one of those, it's one of those once in a lifetime, right? I mean, I don't know how often Levi's did jerseys back then, but I don't think so. But
yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah. There you go, man. So something for us to
Thank you. Yeah, I thought we did one in Fut Mex Nation. We try to do one every year. I don't know what we're gonna come up with. Amy and I kind of figure out, oh my gosh, it's tomorrow, and we haven't sent we kind of do one. I think last year we did one that was like with Layun. We be Layun if we didn't like it or something like that. And then I think we did a Dos Santos one yesterday. So I gotta text Amy to figure out what we're doing tomorrow. We always try to put in some kind of
tie that in there. No, but like I said, we looked at those pictures and we were like, this is no wonder we so so that's the tie. Your uncle was a physical trainer, and the hairstyle, so that is the tie.
He tells some crazy stories about those games in the World Cup, like legit saying that like that last game, and I forgot who they were playing, that they were gonna get beat so bad, and the coach said, like almost Karate Kid style, like break their legs, like they're gonna beat us, but let's injure them. Like he says that, like he's flat out says that, like that's what 1978 we're gonna lose, and you know what? Let them know that when you play Mexico, you might lose, but we're gonna break their legs.
Remember the day they played the Titans? Or that movie?
Yes, they'll remember. That's why they'll remember to play. Yeah, it was like that. So
we need to get that quote somewhere, dude. That should be like the next jersey there, Serge.
Jerseys. So is that the latest and newest Mexico jersey you have on?
Yeah, the white one.
Yeah, I haven't ordered that. How does it?
Really nice.
I mean,
I like it.
Really?
I like it.
I'm not a fan of the collar. I don't know.
It's nice. I like it. I like the little design, the washed out design. Yeah. Mexico should be coming out with some jerseys soon. Especially this year. It's not a secret. The World Cup's next year. They need to come out with at least 2 jerseys.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So they
So whatever happened with, you guys don't know whatever happened with that pink one that was supposed to come out? The
sure, that's gonna come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
people had it. I saw it at a hockey game.
Yeah, they had the what do you call them? The replica ones, right? The ones they get.
Dude, it's already out there, dude. I can go, dude. You guys, Deportes America on 16th Street and Thomas has it.
Shout out to Rene. Deportes America. That dude's been.
Every time he comes in, he always shows me, like, look, I've met Salcido, I've met Osorio, and I'm like, that's so cool, man. And he's like, I think I've met more people than anybody, right? And I'm always like, you have, man, you have. He's so proud of meeting Mexican team players. I'm all like, hey, do you want a player to come to your store? I can make that happen if you want.
That's that soccer shop by Silvana's place, right?
Yeah. Yeah, right next door.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, shout out to her too. She was recently been going through a really tough time with her business, but it looks like a lot of people showed up and put money to fix, plumbing or some issues she was dealing with. And if you go to her Instagram, she was very just, couldn't thank people enough for stepping up and helping her business. So shout out to Silvana again, Bio Cafe. Do a big, we're big fans of hers. So
dude, it's amazing how people have come together to help her out, and not only her. So I'm sure you know who Derek is, the lemonade guy from the
like Grandma Made.
Yeah. So this gentleman who sells concessions at the Diamondback games, the spring training games, he has this famous saying going around saying lemonade like Grandma made. So that's his thing.
Right? Is that? I'm gonna say something. I really thought all stadiums said that because that's how I grew up with it. It's just him.
It was him.
Like, I don't know why I'm like, oh, is that maybe something? Like, it's such a great catchphrase that I've always thought, oh, he probably got it from other stadiums until I didn't know that's like his line.
Well, I don't know, but
everyone knows him as that guy though. Yeah.
Years
of going to Diamondbacks games, you hear that guy, lemonade like Grandma made.
And he put passion in that, man. And it
yells it across.
No games, I mean, imagine that's a big, big revenue generator for him.
Yeah, so he's had some health complications, and there's a GoFundMe. So the community responded, bro. The community responded, and they surpassed the goal. Good. They think they're asking for like $50,000 for his medical expenses and whatnot.
Helping people out, dude.
And it's just amazing, especially right now, how times are so hard that people are still, we've had family members lose. The PVA family members lose their family members, and people have pitched in and whatever they can, and it's great to see. It's great to see that humanity is still alive.
I definitely love what's going on in this world, man. And thank you again for everybody that's pitching in, and again, just podcasts like this, communication, social media, all that, just putting that out. But it's been a pleasure having you, man. We can talk for hours, and I know
it went by so fast.
You've been you're a busy guy, dude. You have like 5 more podcasts you're doing right after this. So let's wrap up with final thoughts. So any shout outs, any projects, anything you want to, tell us about or tell our viewers about?
I guess let's say about shout outs, just you guys continue to do what you're doing. I love the podcast. You add such a great element of being proud of being Mexican infused with the soccer and the passion, and we rarely talk about soccer, but at the same time is what brings us together. Podcast, celebrating who we are is always important. So, shout out to you guys. And then women's soccer, I'd continue to say support it, watch it, not just because now I'm involved with an agency that has players, but because why shouldn't we be excited for the Mexican national team, women's or the women's league? Continue to support it. They have amazing players, and be a voice for it, right? Because that's what it's needed. And then let's see. Lastly, anything we're doing with Fut Mex Nation, a retweet, a like, getting more people out there. I mean, COVID's been crazy. We haven't been to games, right? So you see that it's affected a lot of us in that sense. Continue to support it on all our platforms, and we'll lift each other up. And at the same time, replicate that. So if you have a blog or if you have a retweet and it'll help out, send us an email, send us a message, and we'll throw it out there. So lots of love for everybody in the community.
Awesome. Thank you. We so appreciate that. Coronel, Serge, anything final thoughts, any shout outs before we wrap up?
No, definitely. Wiso, thank you very much for joining, and keep doing what you're doing, and everybody that has helped you along the way. You've kept at it, and it's super, super cool. really proud to see. I feel like it's one of my kids, you know, doing something special coming from.
I go, aren't we older than you,
No.
Sergio?
Hell no. But again, during on the YouTube video, we will put the handle for Fut Mex Nation.
Thank you.
And also that way they can follow you. Definitely.
Awesome. Thank you. Serge, final.
Yeah, no, on my end, thanks, Wiso, for joining us today and being on the podcast with us. But more importantly, man, we're just so proud of you, dude. Like the vision you had back in the day, you know, you fulfill it, or you've been fulfilling it forever. And the next step that you took recently is amazing. And it's something that I envy. But I envy it in a good way because I'm just so happy for you that you get to work in what you love day in and day out. And just however we can help, you know, keep going, help you keep going and help you keep building Fut Mex Nation, help you keep working, you know, with the marketing jersey. You know, we're here as, you know, some of your biggest cheerleaders. Honestly, just love what you do. Thanks for everything you do with the community, and just look forward to kind of seeing you at the game here shortly.
Yeah, man. Thanks
Well, again, El Coronel, El Serge, El Sargento here. This is another episode of This Is Your Life with Wiso Vazquez. Thank you for spending time with us. Well, till next time, amigos. Muchas gracias. Hasta luego.
Don Vicente, un chingón para cantar. Jimmy humilde, que historia para contar. Y hay un chingo de estrellas difícil para terminar. Y la banda norteño, nos enfiestamos. Son las 3 de la mañana y no paramos. La cerveza en la hielera las enfriamos. Y aunque lleguen los azules.
Sarge, thank you for everything that you do. And I know you write the articles for Mex Nation and what, I mean, I go back and I'm like, we were in a plane, like we've been in Mexico together. I look back to all of you guys, all three of you, and I have amazing stories with all of you, right? Yeah. From going to Torre Latinoamericana with, you know, you and your fiance back then, you know, Sargento in Mexico City and hanging out for a whole day and traveling to Coronel. Canada is always going to be.
Yeah, man.
Always have Canada. That's a movie.
It's funny because we've known each other for so long that we go, what the fuck, bro? What the, you know, like if it's Pasadena, it's partying. If it's
Dallas,
in Canada, like,
Dallas.
It's funny that like you know, we're all married and we all have and we have our lives and we have, right. So it's kind of funny. Like I feel like we are all like pre-marriage, kind of like these buddies, even though we were not. And then we have, I'm like, we got stories on that guy, like, you know.